Diane in Denmark here, and welcome back to the start of a new week. I'm always excited at the start of a new week because that means we're working in a new Flylady zone. And I'm also excited today because I've been down for my swim in the sea with my one of my best friends, and I haven't seen her for weeks because I was on vacation and she's been on vacation with her family. Anyway, now she's back and we had a great swim this morning and a long talk, so I hope I've got some voice left. I hope you can hear me. Anyway, crashing on, we are back in zone 5 this week. And remember, you don't need to worry too much about the Flylady zones. If you're just starting out with Flylady, just concentrate on keeping your routines going. You know, morning routine, evening routine, adding in a little mission now and then. Do not worry about doing 5 missions a week. And even if you have been doing the Flylady system for a long time, you don't need to do 5 missions a week. Just all we're doing is, when we have time, setting a timer for, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and doing something. And the great thing about the Flylady system is you don't need to think about it. It's all planned out for you. And as you can see, let me see, we are in it's the month of July, and if you look down here, we are here. So this week we've got a full week in zone 5, which is the living room. Now, if you want to find the missions for the week, if you want to find detailed cleaning lists for this zone, and this zone is the den, the family room, whatever you want to call it, maybe you've got a playroom for the kids, go to flylady.net, it's all there. Also, if you're using the Flylady Plus app, you'll see the missions for the week, and plus you'll see the detailed cleaning lists. But don't get bogged down and doing everything from the list. We've really got to be careful that we don't go overboard here. So I have set my timer, and I'm going to be working in here and doing a few of the missions from this week. I hope you'll join me for that. Make sure before you do any kind of missions, decluttering sessions, that you are dressed to shoes. And I've got mine on. Let me just try and show you. There we are. I've got my indoor shoes on. And please don't say anything about the shoes. Just try the shoe thing. If you haven't done it, indoor shoes, okay? We're not saying that you wear big clumpy boots inside. Just a pair of little plimsolls, just so you can kind of bounce around. The other thing that I've got ready, because I'm going to be doing some cleaning in here, is I've got a little cleaning caddy. Remember, you don't need to have the same thing as me. I just find it useful to have everything together in a bag or in a box. This is just a very cheap one from IKEA. I've got my cleaning supplies in here. I've got my Flylady purple cloths, silver rags. I've got my Flylady water bottle. I've got baby wipes because I like to use them for a lot of things. So anyway, let's get down to it. So one of the first things that you'll probably see for the zones in zone 5 when we're in the living room is just to actually look around the room. I always do it, I give a sweep of the room with my eyes clockwise to see anything that shouldn't be in this room. And this also applies especially to the living room because we spend a lot of time in the living room. We're watching movies, we're playing the Xbox, whatever it is that you do in this room. And because we're in this room so often, we tend to, forget what's really there, and we don't kind of focus on the things that are just taking up space and we don't actually use in this room. So anyway, you get on with your room. I'm just going to take a quick scout around our living room to see if there's anything there that shouldn't be here and anything that can go away to a different place, okay? So you start, let me just start the timer. We're on for 15 minutes. I don't want to go overboard with the video today. So I've got my timer running and I'm just going around the room clockwise. And oh yeah, we have a lot of books. Those are all my books, but that's all right. They're all together at my reading chair. This is my reading chair here. You can't see that. Okay, anything here? Oh, that's money, finders keepers. There. And Okay, I found something. I found some books that need to go away. Various things that belong in another room, an iPad which is charged, so that can go away, plus the chargers. Oh, and find some more books. Let's go over here. There's coasters. This teapot needs to go back to the kitchen. Right, okay, so that only took me a couple of minutes. I've got everything out of here and put things back, you know, library books together with library books, things that belong in the kitchen are back in the kitchen. It's a good idea to start with that because then it makes it much easier when you come to do the cleaning. So, oh yeah, something I did find is that this has been sitting here for a while. It's one of these hurricane lamps, and in Denmark we burn a lot of candles. The candle burnt down. I didn't replace it. And I've been procrastinating on cleaning this, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'll do that later. So I'll just keep this here. And I also need to put away these candle holders. And actually go just down below. I've got a big chest, which you've maybe seen when I was doing a decluttering video in here. So that's back to the candle holders. Right, so now I can get on with some cleaning. I'm just going to take off my jacket because I'm going to be working a bit in here and it gets hot. So what I'm going to do first is, which is actually one of the missions this week, is just to dust off all the flat surfaces. And this is also an opportunity to find out what you have on those flat surfaces. We're going to have a detailed dust. So if you want to do that with me, carry on. Top of the pictures. And if you have DVDs and things around your entertainment centre, maybe it's time to go through those, see which ones you're going to watch, or if you want to give them away, or if they need to be put away. Still here, hope you're working too. Don't leave me alone working. Okay, that's basically, oh, I'll just do here on top of the chest. That was it basically for me for detailed dusting. And remember, when you're watching these videos, you don't need to be doing the same thing as me. You could be decluttering, you may be working on a different area. It doesn't matter. I just want you to know that you're not alone in this. Yeah, we're just looking after our homes. There, okay, so that was detailed dusting. What shall I do next? Oh yeah, now, I've done detailed dusting there, so the next thing I'm going to do is, and here's my very fancy feather duster, which I've just taped with sticky tape to an old mop handle, and I'm going to do the same as I always do. Start in one corner, go around clockwise, and I'm going to dust the ceiling and around about the doors. So if you want to do that, you can join me with that, otherwise go and do something else. Don't just sit there. Here I come. Right, and round outside the doors. Yay! That's basically done that mission for me. I'll give this a shake outside when I'm finished, when I'm putting away my tools. So just pop that there. Let me see, how are we doing for time? Okay, I've got 5 minutes left. Oh, and I'll tell you, here's a funny story. One of the missions for this week is sofa diving. Now, if you saw me cleaning this zone, I think it was 2 months ago, I made a cleaning zone here. And I was telling you that the sofa diving mission, that has always been my son's favourite mission. He always asked to do that because he got to keep any money that he found in the sofa. And I told you that two months ago when we were in the zone, and I got a little bit teary because my son had been away in the States. He was away for 10 months in the States, and I missed him more at the end of the 10 months, at the beginning for some reason. And I got a bit, just thinking of that mission made me a bit teary. And I told Marla, the Flylady, and she said, listen, from now on, don't go sofa diving until your son comes home. And every time, and because I'd said to her that sometimes, actually, the reason he liked to go, sofa diving is because I would actually add some extra coins or maybe, a wrapped sweet or something. He always thought it was amazing he could find so much in the sofa. And she said to me, every time you miss him, put a coin in the sofa. So yesterday, my son is now home, And I said to him, oh, you know, we're in zone 5 this week. Do you want to do it? And he said, oh, yeah, Mum, because, you know, do I get to keep what I find in the sofa? And I said, yeah. So he got the vacuum out, you know, took off all the cushions, and he couldn't believe how much money was in there. Anyway, I just thought it was really funny because, you know, I had to explain, you know, that the Flylady had said I had some coins, so there was tons of money in there. So anyway, I think he realised how much we had missed him. So our sofa has now been vacuumed. He took off all the cushions yesterday, took all the money that was there, and he vacuumed and then fluffed them up, and I just took a damp cloth and I wiped off a couple of stains, you know, from people who have been sitting eating chocolate on the sofa. So anyway, I have that mission for this week for me is done, and I'm glad to have my son back again. Now, oh yes, another thing, one of the missions for this week that you will see, I'm just going to, and I didn't dust the coffee table, and I like to put a bit of polish on that because it just smells nice, and that's the final thing that I do when I'm cleaning in zone 5. Let me just take my polish. Now, one of the missions that you'll see a lot when we're in zone 5 is that when you have, you know, cleaned a bit in this room or decluttered, maybe you've decluttered your coffee table, is to do yourself a favour, pamper yourself and put something nice on the area that you've cleaned or decluttered. And I've told you before that was one of the hardest things about Flylady system in the beginning. I could do all the cleaning and stuff, and you know, I did that, but I didn't do the part of actually putting something there nice for me to look at. But things changed, and I embraced the system, the same as, you know, with the shoes and swish and swipe, everything else. So every week when I'm finished, you know, doing my weekly home blessing, I always polish the coffee table, and we always have a couple of tea light holders. You know, we have so many candles here in Denmark, and I cut myself some fresh flowers for the garden. So these ones are kind of on their last legs, so that's what I'm going to do today once I finish up this video. And what else was I going to tell you? Let me see. Oh yes, I'm going to be doing my weekly home blessing. And as you know, I've talked about this many times. When I'm doing weekly home blessing, I try and stick to the zone. Now that is for cleaning mirrors. The part in weekly home blessing where it says shine mirrors, doors, and windows. I spend 10 minutes. I set my timer. My timer's just about to go off. There we are. We've been working for 15 minutes here, but normally when I'm doing weekly home blessing, the 10 minutes for doing mirrors and windows and doors, I do it in the zone, because I find that, you know, it only takes me like a minute or two to do the main mirrors in the house. So I start by doing the mirrors in the zone. So today in weekly home blessing, when I spend 10 minutes on mirrors, windows and doors, I will be doing the ones in zone 5, the living room. And then next week I'll be doing the mirrors and doors and windows in zone 1, the entryway and the dining room. So you see, that way it just stops me from forgetting, you know, windows and things like that. Anyway, so I'm kind of all over the place today because I was quite excited about seeing my friend and getting back into the swing of things. And oh yes, the other thing is remember, please remember, you do not need to do the same as I'm doing in these videos. You do not need to do the 5 missions that are on the Flylady website. They are just a guide. And, you know, we're just making a bit of progress every week. And if you are consistent with the system, then you really begin to see results. You know, we're just doing a little bit of decluttering, and, you know, just 1 or 2 items every day makes such a difference. And I'm going to be showing you that this week. I'm going to be showing you, you know, it seems like I've decluttered a lot here, and I don't have much clutter, and that's true. But I try every day just to find 1 or 2 things. Every time I open a drawer, every time I'm putting something away in a cupboard, is there something in there that I can let go of, that I can hand on to somebody else, that can be recycled or go in the trash? And I'm going to be talking to you about that this week and showing you what I come up with every day. And I hope that will inspire you. I'll talk you through the items and, you know, at the stage that I'm at, what I am throwing away on a daily basis. So anyway, I'm going to keep it short here because, I've been going for 20 minutes. And I'm going to do my weekly home blessing today, but I've done a good start. I've got most of the cleaning done in here in zone 5, which is the living room, the den. I hope you have a great week in this zone, and I shall see you tomorrow for some decluttering fun. Okay, that's it for me. Diane in Denmark. If you don't know who I am, I've been a fly baby for 12 years. I was a mentor at Flylady Premium. I've stopped working at Flylady Premium, but I'm still making these videos because they keep me accountable, and I'm just here. Let me get my pom-poms. I'm just here to be your cheerleader and say, you know what, if I can do it, anybody can do it, okay? It's not rocket science. You can do it too, so just follow along with the Flylady system and it will change everything for you. Anyway, that's it for me. I've got to get this uploaded and get on with other stuff. Diane in Denmark, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye for now, and live long and prosper.